everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am coming on here live to help small business owners, talking about some new things that are on the horizon that I think we all need to be aware of. Two big things, or there's two stimulus proposals that I wanted to talk about. So again, no matter where you're tuning in from, come on in, drop a comment, say hello, hit that love button, subscribe. So that you can keep up to date on this information. This is important information impacting all of us related to COVID-19. So everybody has been impacted. And as you know, with the first stimulus bill under the CARES Act that was rolled out, they provided the American people with $1,200 stimulus check, right? So if you're a single person earning $75,000 or less, you got that. And if you're filing jointly, you got $2,400 and $500 per child, up to 3 children. Well, there's new proposals out, and you can also see the description for additional information if you would like to look into it. But we already knew that these stimulus checks, some of us, right, some of those of us out here still have not gotten those checks yet. But anticipate that you will get them if you've qualified and you've taken the necessary steps, which I have talked in my previous lives, some of the things that you would need to do, including filing your taxes, your 2018 and 2019 taxes. But there are two stimulus proposals which are interesting, that are legislative proposals that were presented by congressional leaders. And so I'm going to walk through those two right now. The first one is the Emergency Money for the People Act, okay? This is proposed by Representative Ro Khanna, which is a Democrat out of California, and Tim Ryan in Ohio. And this would really expand the eligibility beyond the regular or the initial CARE stimulus package. And what does that mean? That means that if this passes, the American people would get $2,000 per month for a year. Okay, so that's the first one. The other one is you would have your rent paid. So I have put out like a post about which one would you prefer, and just depending on your circumstances, some prefer $2,000 a month, some prefer that they get their mortgage paid for. But under this one, unlike the previous one, 16-year-olds. So if you're 16 and above, you would qualify. So some of those, college students missed out, right? Because they filed it. If you filed as or you were dependent on your parents or your guardian's taxes, you didn't qualify, you would be covered under that $500 per child. But under this one, this would apply, right, to 16-year-olds. So everyone in your household, 16 or older, would get $2,000 a month check for 12 months, okay? And so this would also include, that's for anyone earning under $130,000 annually. For married couples is earning anything less than $260,000. And if you're a married couple, you would get $4,000 a month, okay? And so qualifying families, again, will receive $500 per child, again, at a maximum of 3 children. So if you have more than 3 children, it's capped at 3, okay? And those that have no earnings or that are unemployed, as we know, a lot of American people are unemployed at this time, and record numbers have been filing for unemployment, you would too qualify. So even if you don't have any earnings, you're unemployed, you would qualify under this bill. Those that were not eligible for 2019 or 2018, you would be eligible if you're able to show 2 consecutive paycheck stubs, right, to verify your income eligibility. As we know, there have been many impacted in 2020, so your financial circumstances are totally different right now compared to what they were a few months ago. So again, that is the emergency money for the people, okay? That is the first proposal that is out, okay? So proposal number 2 is the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act, okay? So this means that under this act, instead of getting a financial payout on a monthly basis, you would actually not have to pay your rent or your mortgage. And so this would include, now this bill actually was initiated by Ilhan Omar, which is a Democrat, and again, it is the Mortgage Cancellation Act. This would include full rent payment forgiveness for your primary residence. So if you have a second home, if you have a vacation home, it would not qualify. So this is for your primary residence, full mortgage payment forgiveness on your primary residence. No accumulation of debt for renters or homeowners. Okay, so no accumulation of debt. Okay, no negative impact to your credit rating or rental history. So I know a lot of when we were discussing it, so a lot of the concern was that you know, they forgive it or they postpone it or forbear it or defer it is different than forgiveness, right? So when you're deferred or it's a forbearance, that means they give you a certain period of time you don't have to pay, but then it's tacked on the back end. So nobody wants that. So under this proposed bill, that would not happen. It's basically forgiven. You would not be responsible for your rent or mortgage payment for that, and it's not tacked on or loaded to the back end. It would establish they would establish a relief fund for landlords and mortgage holders to cover their losses. So you're probably wondering, like, how are they going to do this? What about the landlords? They need to be paid too. So there will be a relief fund for them, and so they're taking care of both the landlord and the renters. Okay, it would create an optional fund to finance the purchase of a private rental property to increase the availability of affordable housing. Okay, so again, there will be a fund created to finance the purchase of private rental properties so that they can increase the availability of affordable housing, which we're going to need in this time. There can be no double dipping. Okay, so you cannot, like I said, it's for your primary residence, so you can't get the benefit for one residence and then try to use it for another. Okay, so it's a one-time thing. So again, this is the two proposals that are out, congressional proposals, stimulus proposals that are out, the emergency money for the people, which would provide the American people with money checks every month for a year, depending if you're single, $2,000, and if you are married, then it would be $4,000 based on the income guidelines, right? Which have increased for this one. So they're much higher than they were for the initial package. And then the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act is the second proposal that is out there, which would allow for zero rent, zero mortgage for 1 year. Forgiveness, not deferment, not forbearance. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. As we get more information, I will be sure to come on and do another live and provide resources and access the information that will be helpful to you. If you have questions regarding the current stimulus, because while many have received their payments, there are still some that have not and will not if you do not file your taxes, and if the IRS doesn't have your information on file, you won't be able to access those funds. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure you're taking the necessary steps so you can get the money that you're entitled to have as a taxpayer, as an American. So again, that is really good information. I would recommend that you read up on the bill. The link is in the comment, and also Omar's proposal as well. And we'll stay tuned to see how this works out, which one comes to fruition. And what I would like to just say is that to continue to be encouraged, continue to be diligent, apply for the programs that are out there. There are many out there, whether they're from private private organizations and companies, your county, your city, your state. There are funding opportunities out there. There is assistance out there, whether you need assistance health-wise, whether you need food to feed your family, whether you need financial support through forgivable loans and grants. They are out there. So if you missed my previous live on small business relief programs, you definitely want to check that out. Also, if you missed the live on unemployment for the self-employed, that's another avenue to get financial support. You definitely want to check that out as well. So please do continue to follow me, connect with me wherever I am on online at She Boss Talk, or you could visit us at www.shebosstalk.com. You can come over to our YouTube channel and subscribe and stay up to date on the latest information. Until I see you again, be blessed, be safe, and be in good health, and have a great day.